Hey folks, I tried to make this a short video, but it's just impossible. I got too much to say. Sorry about that. So you can skip around if you need to. So this is my new ZTZ Cheetahs. It says Cheetahs. BOLANY fat bike fork that just arrived. It looks like it's in good shape. It seems to be working properly. And it looks like it's going to be a direct fit for the MOZO Fatman that I have on my juiced RIPCURRENT S, which is the worst fork known to man. It is a cheap, crappy one without any rebound adjustment. Anyway, it looks like everything should line up, and I will keep you posted as I do it, but it's going to be at least several weeks before I can get this, well, a few weeks, before I can get this all done. I'm going to take a little side step here and talk about the headset for just a second here. I'm guessing, and I'm pretty sure my guess is good, according to Cane Creek, which makes headset bearings, probably one of the better headset bearings out there, that this is a zero stack head on this bike. They make 3 different kinds of bearings, and one is an external, which this doesn't appear to be, and then another one's an expensive kind that is actually built right into the head itself, which I don't believe this is. This is an inexpensive, Chinese-made frame, and the zero stack is all internal, so that's why I think this is a zero stack. So I ordered a non-Cane Creek sealed bearing zero stack bearing for this. And one other thing is, I believe that Cane Creek also makes one that allows you to use, instead of a straight steerer tube, a tapered steerer tube. And that's attractive. If for some reason this does not work out, I may do that. But I will tell you that forks with tapered steerer tubes are much more expensive. They're usually a very, very expensive fork. So at the very least, since the MOZO locks out better than it does anything else, if this one does the same, well, then that's fine. I guess I'll just leave it locked out. I ride mostly on a paved bike path anyway, so it's only every now and then that I go off-road and use the fork to its limits. But I can tell you that I'm a pretty big guy, and on this MOZO Fatman doesn't work at all. It just bottoms out all the time, no matter how much air you have in it, and it's really not good. So it locks out well, and that's about it. So I thought I'd upgrade for this year and go with the ZTZ, BOLANY ZTZ Cheetahs fork. Anyway, that's all I want to say. Now on with the video. This is the BOLANY, I believe it's called, BOLANY, or bologna, as we like to say here in America. ZTZ fat bike fork that just showed up from Amazon. I ordered it on Amazon. This is a fat bike fork with a rebound adjustment right down here. Let's see, I just returned a fork that was slightly damaged from KRSEC. It was supposed to be a Bucklos that they sent, because they say that the Bucklos are built better than the KRSECs, but they sent a KRSEC anyway, and I told them to stick it. And so my choices were so limited, I just ended up buying this. They all look like the same fork with different badging on the outside. So it's hard to say. This one came just like the other one. It was poorly packed, and this big hole in the box was where the steerer tube was sticking out about 4 inches, but it didn't get damaged. Just like the other fork, this one's got like oil coming out of there. That's not good. You know, I don't know where that's from. It's a straight steerer tube, and it's 135 millimeter from the dropouts, so it'll fit my fat bike fork. It comes with this protector thing that protects the dropouts, but doesn't protect this. You would think they would make it so that it wrapped around here and protected the thing that's sticking out. Apparently this is not a problem for them, but there's some clicks to this. They're minor clicks. You can barely feel it, but it does seem to lock in. Some oil down here. I'm not sure if that oil is a good thing or a bad thing. Anyway, I'm waiting for AliExpress. Yeah, everybody's always waiting for AliExpress stuff because it takes forever to get. For a let's see, for a star nut installer and my star nuts to show up. Tonight when I get home, I'm going to measure how much pressure there is in there and see if it holds before I even think about sticking this on my bike. I'm going to make sure it holds pressure, and if not, it's going right back, and then I'm literally out of choices because my juiced RIPCURRENT takes a straight steerer tube, and there's a very limited amount of straight steerer tube forks that have the rebound adjustment. As far as I can see, there's about 4 or 5 of them, all Chinese, all look like they came out of the same place. They all have this gold stanchion, and they're all 34 millimeters. There's another one called, let me see, IMHO, I think it's called, IMHO, on AliExpress, that does not have the rebound, but they brag about their 34 millimeter stanchions, but they all have 34 millimeters except for the MOZO Fatman, which came on my bike, which has a 32 millimeter. And I haven't actually measured that, so it may be 34 as well. Okay, so anyway, I'm just talking your ear off, just trying to tell you that I'm also really considering getting new bearing, crown race bearings, sealed bearings for this, because they're not that much. I believe, let me just tuck your ear for one more second here. While my RIPCURRENT takes a straight steerer tube, I'm still not quite sure what type of headset bearing it takes. There's 3 kinds. I know it doesn't take one particular kind, which is all external. It's all internal. I think it's called the ZT or something like that. Anyway, Cane Creek makes the headset bearings that'll fit in my bike. Other companies do too, but Cane Creek seems to be one of the better ones. And they can be 50, 80, even $100, depending on what you go with. And you need tools to get them in and out, press them in and out. I think I can make those tools. But there is also one that will, most of these forks for fat bikes are tapered right here. And my bike doesn't take a tapered steerer tube. However, I believe Cane Creek makes an adapter, so you can. The RIPCURRENT S has a 125 millimeter head tube, 44 millimeter ID, and I think all you have to do is match that up, and I believe you can use something as good a quality as like a RockShox or a Ran or one of the expensive fat bike forks if you want to go that way. But I will say that the fat bike forks, almost all the good fat bike forks have tapered tubes. It's a little bit more current, a little bit more, I don't know, expensive. And since my bike was made in China, and most fat bikes were made in China, they cheaped out and went with a straight steerer tube. I guess it wasn't all that common at that point. Mine's a 2018, so it's not, it's a, you know, all this stuff changes over time. What's cool, having tapered steerer tubes is a new cool thing, I guess, or a newer cool thing. Anyway, there's some of the, I think you can put about 95 pounds of pressure in this thing. 99, if you're a 220 pound rider, 90 to 110 pounds of air pressure. That's interesting because the Bucklos only went up to 90. So that's pretty cool. So maybe there is a difference of what's going on inside of here. I just don't know. A lot of oil on the outside. Don't know what that means. I don't know if it's grease that's too weak or what. I have yet to be able to compress this with my hands, so maybe it has some pretty good pressure in it. Okay, well, that's where we're at with this thing. I'll do a more in-depth review on this thing tonight when I get in. And cool. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I have the ZTZ, and what I'm doing, let's see, I've taken all the pressure out of the jounce. There's jounce and rebound. That's shock terms, but the compression is jounce. And I've taken all the air out of the compression side, and I've done that so that I can coat the stanchions in a dry film Teflon and see if I can get it down. From what I understand, these things have plastic bushings and very little lubrication, and so I'm not going to be taking these apart, but what I am doing is I'm dripping Teflon down past the seals and making this thing have a little bit more lubrication on those plastic bushings. And it seems to be working fine. It's a lot more loosened up than it was a while ago. Anyway, you can see that the rebound is definitely working well. Everything's really working well on this. Actually, the lockout's working really well. And lockout's interesting. If you compress the shock all the way down and then lock it out while it's down, it will go up, but it won't go back down. So it'll keep getting progressively higher. You know, I don't know if I can show you this holding the camera. I can't show you anything holding the camera. So let me see what I can do about that. Okay, so if I compress the fork all the way down and now lock it out, it will go up, but it won't go back down. It'll go up, but it won't go back down. I know that's working correctly, but it is definitely locked out. All right, so if we unlock it, and right now we have the rebound on the fastest up and down, and if we go the other way, you can see it'll slow down immensely. So that's working. It seems to be working very well. It's nice and smooth now. When I first got it, it was all quirky. But Teflon's definitely helping it. So I have, I forget what they're called. They're gator covers. They cover the stanchions so the dirt doesn't get down into there. God, I wish I could remember the name of them. Hang on a second, I'll find out. They're called lizard skins, and they go over the stanchions. They're made out of neoprene, and they don't seem to be selling them on eBay anymore, but I'm going to take them off of my MOZO Fatmans, put them on this thing after I wash them, and that'll be a good thing. This is how the rebound adjustment works. It actually has clicks. You can see it's coming out. So it's got quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18 clicks. Also, there's looks like a 2mm Allen head. Takes both of these knobs off. I think it's a 2mm, I'm guessing. And I'm going to take them off and lubricate them. The only thing I see, I guess when I don't have air in it, I don't know if this affects it, but it doesn't seem to compress at any different rate, no matter where I have it here until lockout, and that seems to be because I don't have any air in it. But I don't know. I don't know why the rebound works, and I don't know why the compression doesn't when there's no air in it. I guess because I didn't take any air out of the low pressure side. That's probably why. Anyway, we'll figure it. It's not a big deal. I'm just trying to understand this fork a little bit more and why it's so cheap, and see if I can have any negative things to say about it, but so far, I probably paid a little bit more than most people for probably the same thing, but who the hell knows? Like I said, this is probably the same thing as the Bucklos with the rebound. It's probably the same as the what the heck it's called, the Lutu with rebound. I think a Lutu has rebound, and BOLANY, which this is supposed to be a BOLANY, but now they're just going heavily on the ZTZ theme and calling it a cheetah. It's a cheetah, ZTZ cheetah. So it's technically not even a BOLANY, according to them. Speed lockout. Anyway, just give you all the ifs, ands, and buts. And I can't tell what this material is. I think this is, it feels like metal. Really, really cheap metal. It's not like plastic. But who the heck knows? Maybe the whole thing is plastic. I don't know. That sure looks like plastic. Maybe the whole lowers are plastic. Who the heck knows? I really don't know. The Chinese have found a way to make you not know. This is definitely metal. This is definitely metal. You can feel it's cold. This, I don't really know. Maybe it's made out of magnesium. It looks like it's molded plastic. Well, actually, it's painted in there, isn't it? I don't know. I really don't know. It sounds like plastic. I'm going to take my knife to it and just see if I can nick it a little bit. But you see, it's all one thing. So who knows? Who really knows? I don't know. I can't believe it would be plastic. It says it's magnesium, but I think that's the stanchions they're talking about. Aluminum and magnesium alloy, which means nothing to me because I don't think you can mix those two metals together. This looks like steel. Anyway, that's what we got.